Hello everyone, this is Sylvia here and welcome back to Victim to Survivor. So today I'm going to address the question that everybody asks: why can't you live? Why doesn't he or she live? By the way, the reason why I say he or she is that only 85% of victims are female, which means the other 15% is male. So it doesn't necessarily mean that only women are domestic violence victims. Men also, although there's a large number of women who are domestic violence victims. So what is domestic violence? Well, domestic violence is abusive or violent behavior among people who are married, living together, or are in an ongoing or prior intimate relationship. There are different names for domestic violence, and they are battering, intimate partner violence, teen dating violence, spousal abuse, and family violence. I'm going to touch a little bit on battering. Well, battering is when somebody physically harms you, or they arouses fear, or they prevent you from doing what you want to do, or they force you to behave in ways that you don't want. That's battering. And I'm going to also touch a little bit on two types of abuse, which is physical and emotional. I'll give you examples of physical abuse. Because to be honest with you, I didn't realize that some of the things that were happening to me were actually abuse. And I was 18 years old when I got married. I was actually married to my abuser. I was only 18, but I got married. It's a long story. It's another video, how I ended up getting married and how we met and all that. That will be another video. Anyway, so physical abuse comprises of the following: choking, hitting, slapping, kicking, stabbing, throwing things, destroying property, tying you down or restraining you, stalking, pulling your hair, burning, like a cigarette burn, and also spitting in your face. That's another one that I didn't think was abuse. He only spat in my face, so what? No big deal. That's what initially I thought. That was not a big deal. I personally thought if someone really puts his hands or her hands on you, then that's physical abuse. Not spitting, or if they are throwing things across the room, then as long as it's not touching me, it's not abuse. Or if they are destroying property, who cares? It's not abuse. That's what I used to think. But believe you me, it is abuse. Then we go to emotional abuse. Emotional abuse involves, humiliating you in public, cursing, calling you names, ignoring you, ignoring your feelings. What else with emotional abuse? I said cursing, ignoring your feelings, calling you names, humiliating you in public, criticizing you, blaming you, insulting you. Those are all, forms of emotional abuse. Then let me come to the question, the big question that most people don't understand. Why can't you live? Well, unless if you've been there if you've been a victim, it's very, very hard to understand why victims stay with their abusers. I personally, I'll tell you why I stayed. Because I should have left the first time, maybe the second time, maybe the third time, or even the fourth or fifth time. I was beaten up, but I stayed. Well, to answer the question, I stayed because of fear. I was scared that if I leave, maybe I'll never see my child again. I was scared what people were going to say about me. I'm a loser. I blamed myself because my abuser made me believe that I was useless, I was nobody, and so I blamed myself. It's my fault. It's my fault why he spits in my face. It's my fault why he kicks me, pushes me around, he slaps me. It's my fault. And I didn't have a job. So I was scared that if I leave, how am I going to survive? I was scared that what if he follows me and kills me? Then I'll definitely never see my child again. I had low self-esteem because my abuser had convinced me that I was nobody, that I would never be anything. So I stayed. I know it's hard to understand if you've never been, involved in domestic violence. And I mean, it's understandable why people don't understand why victims stay with their abusers. So if you have a family member or a friend that you've been begging for years, weeks, months to leave because you keep noticing that they have a black eye, busted lip now and again, or maybe they tell you actually that this is what's going on, and you tell them, come, I'll help you, come and live with me, I'll help you with the kids, but they tell you, let me see, maybe he will change. That's the reason why they are scared. There are a lot of things that as a victim you're scared of. And also, I thought that he loved me. For example, when he said, oh, I don't want you to wear this, I don't want you to talk to this person, I thought, oh, he wants me all to himself. He loves me. That's why he doesn't want me to talk to anybody else. I'm all his. So that was love. And the sad part, on my part, the sad thing on my part is I witnessed my mother being abused by my father growing up. And at one point I actually thought and believed that that's what marriage is all about. You get slapped around now and again by your partner. It's okay. As long as they don't break your leg or something. A slap or spitting or whatever. No big deal. That's what marriage is all about. It's sad, but it's true. I actually believed that at one point. It's only after I left my abuser, I realized that I was being abused every day. So, don't get frustrated with your family member, your friend. Give them time. You can help them by telling them that it's not their fault. Assure them that they are not to blame. And when it comes to leaving, they will leave when they are ready. My family member, including my father, tried to talk me into leaving my abuser, but I wasn't ready, so I stayed. So that's the other reason why I stayed. I didn't have a job. I was scared of losing my child. low self-esteem. Where do I start from? I even thought that it was not even possible to even start all over. That's why I stayed. But one day, like I said in my previous video, I just from nowhere, I don't even know where that strength or courage came from for me to speak up and say, look, don't beat me anymore, let me live. And I left. I am actually one of the lucky victims who lives, in 2.5 years, maybe close to 3 years. Some people stay for 5 years, 10 years, 15 years. And people still be wondering why they can't live. So, the message I want to leave with you today is that don't blame yourself if you are in an abusive relationship. It's normal for you to be scared, but take your time, think about it, and know that there's a light at the end of the tunnel. I know it's scary, but I hope I will inspire you, knowing that Sylvia did it. My domestic violence experiences what happened in Africa, in Zimbabwe. And let me tell you something, domestic violence is real. No matter where you are. When I started sharing my story here in America, a lot of women opened up to me and started sharing their story just because I shared mine. So it doesn't matter where you are from, your color, your ethnicity, how educated you are, it's everywhere. Domestic violence is real. So always remember that, never forget that walking away from something that's unhealthy is being brave. Even if you stumble a little on your way out, you're being brave. Mary Hale. And also Tony Robbins said, your destiny is determined by the choices that you make. Choose now and choose well. I hope I see you in my next video. Bye.